There was an article from Oxfam the other day stating that nearly 2 billion people globally right now is facing either hunger or poverty. And while the 1% still, parade in the wealth, and yet still billions of people right now is dying, homeless. And we see even here in Europe where a lot of people sometimes, you got food that, you could give to people, you got clothing, you got different things that you could offer to people, but pretty much sometimes we end up dumping it or throw it away without even thinking about these people or even their system in place, to let the people who are in need of those basic stuff, could be able to receive those stuff. You're looking even in America and different countries, like it's the first world countries, that got a lot of resources and foods and clothing, which they may not necessarily use again. So we're not simply saying that they have to get only the things which have been used and people don't need anymore, but we're simply saying the wealth which is around the world is not necessarily distributed properly. So even the lesser fortunate would be able to, have the basic needs for life. Because you're talking about even the 1%. The 1% around the world globally have more than, 3.6 billion people really has. Are you talking about just maybe about 10 family? So can you imagine if these people was willing enough to, stretch forth their hands and help and assist people, who are not just into first world country, but also third world countries, which they said are always the problem really lies and dwell. But even in the first world countries as well, you still have an element of poverty that is racking and affecting the normal people. And even here in the UK, London here, you can see poverty, in some part of London where you'll be thinking, wow, people never think that, people would have the basic food or just basic shelter. But yes, still do exist, but not like heavily, like you say, in third world country where medical, education, water, housing facility, and those stuff, hard to come by. And like I said, I don't know if they're going to use that as a tool. Poverty is being used for a long while. So maybe this is a part of the whole package to destabilize the world, and also part of the world which you have decent resources, minerals and stuff like that. So if you kind of destabilize that in terms of the people, then obviously you can go in and, occupy that country, take the resources and stuff like that. So no one necessarily have the strength to fight because all you're focusing on right now is survival. So maybe poverty is an instrument, just like warfare or just like any other laboratory illness that they created or invented, So the reason for it to still exist and the reason for the billionaires and also the millionaires to still have money and still not necessarily stretch forth their hands to, eradicate poverty, then quite frankly, we can suggest that it is used as a kind of tool, whether it be something, we look at broadly, whether it's something we accept. But we're simply saying that poverty by default could literally eradicate as I speak. But those who are in power, those who are in charge of the wealth of this world, not necessarily want to free the wealth. So they're not necessarily going to free up the wealth and also the resources. So everyone out there can necessarily have the access to the resources. So like I said, it's a tool. And if you think it is used as a tool, then we can leave a comment you can leave a comment in the comment section, and then we can have some discussion about the whole poverty which is rocking the entire world. And where poverty lies, they have a lot of criminalities and also different system of injustice or things that are happening, and crime also happening in these kind of deprived areas. So like I said, leave your comment in the comment section and let us talk some more on this whole topic of poverty. And do you think the 1% who literally owns pretty much a lot of wealth and a lot of resources globally necessarily want to help the needy? Leave a take below and we can have some discussion. Like always on The Matrix Man, think outside of the box. Peace.